Hello students, this is your revision video and this is part 2 of the revision, half yearly exam revision. So in this revision video, we will revise chapter 15 transfer of heat and chapter 1 nutrition in plants. So let's start. Important terms and children, I want to say that in every chapter important terms and key points and all the highlighted words and all the points and everything you have to prepare. Even full chapter you have to read from the chapter. From anywhere the questions can be asked. And as you know, in this half yearly exam, 40 marks will, the questions will, 40 mark paper will be of objective type. Means 40 mark, all the questions will be of objective type, whether it is in MCQ, true false, fill in the blanks and match the column. All this type of 4 type of questions will come. MCQs, fill in the blanks, one word, and true false and match the column. Each question will be of 1 mark. So you need to prepare all this definitions and everything. Did you know part, everything you have to read, and full chapter you have to read. From anywhere the questions can be asked, because the paper maximum 40 marks is of objective type. So you need to learn a full chapter from anywhere from it can be asked. So for that, all the important terms and summary points we will revise. So in short, the full chapter will be revised in the short. So your the full chapter will be revised in a short. So important terms, first is given conductors. What are conductors? In chapter 15, transfer of heat means what? Here we are going to revise about and study about what? Relating to the heat transmission. So in the heat transmission, conductors, what is conductors? So the conductors are means what? The substances which allow heat to pass through them. Means those substances through which heat can pass. So those substances are called conductors. For example, what? For example, what? Iron, all the metals like gold and silver, they are what? Conductors. Insulators, substances with low thermal conductivity. Means the substances which are having low or no thermal conductivity, means the substance which cannot allow heat to pass through them. So those substances are called insulators. Example, wood, plastic, air, they are what? Insulators, which does not allow heat to pass. Now there is a process of transfer of heat which is conduction. Conduction is a process of transfer of heat. And now what is conduction? It is a process of transfer of heat energy through a substance with the help of vibrating molecules. Means in the conduction process, the heat transfers with the help of the vibrating molecules, and the conduction process happens in the solids. And when the two objects are in direct contact, so what? Conduction process takes place. This is the conductor. Examples, any material that allow electric current or heat to pass. All the metals, copper, aluminium, steel, any metal, they are what? Good conductors of heat. And here this is the these are the examples of the bad conductor. Means what? Insulator. Insulators are called as bad conductor also. So glass, plastic, rubber, wood, fabric, wool, paper, cork, they are what? Insulators. They are not the good conductor of heat because they does not allow heat to pass. So we were reading the conduction. Means it is a process of transfer of heat with the vibration of molecules. Means when the molecules get heated of any substance, the molecules gets vibrate, and it is a direct, when the two bodies and the two objects are in direct contact, so the conduction takes place. And conduction especially takes place in solid substances. Now convection, it is a process of transfer of heat by the actual movement of substance itself. Means in this, molecules not only vibrate, here the molecules actually move to pass the heat to the other substance or to the that substance only, but the movement of molecules, actual movement is there. Means the actually molecules move to transfer the heat, but in conduction the molecules does not move. The molecules only vibrate at their position and they remain at the position only. But here in the convection, the molecules actually move, and the convection happens in what? Liquid. Why? As you know, when we heat the water molecules what get expand, the water molecule moves. So that what, this is the example of convection. Now radiation, process of transfer of heat energy without the help of any intervening media. Any intervening media means what? Any medium, means the radiation is the process in which energy transfer, heat energy transfer without any help of any media. Like for conduction and convection, what requires? Any medium is required in between. Means conduction and convection requires any medium, but radiation without any help of any intervening media also what? The radiation can transfer. Like what? Sun rays. Sun rays can directly come from sun to the earth, and between sun and earth what is there? Air is there, and air is what? Insulator. But then too the sun's heat can come to the earth without the help of any media also, without the help of any conductor also the radiation can pass. But for the conduction and convection what? The medium what? Conductor should be there to transfer the heat. Now fluid, anything that can flow freely, means the anything which can flow freely means what? Liquids are what? Called fluid. Convection currents means what? Streams of warm moving fluids, means when the layers of warm moving fluid when makes layers, means when the movement of the molecules of liquid upper and down molecules, so that what? It makes a current which is called convection current. Here is an example of conduction. In that case, heating of water and that pan, it is there is all the three cases happen. Conduction, when you touch the handle of that pan or that pan directly, you will feel what? Hot. Means that pan is a good conductor of heat, and human body also good conductor of heat. So when you touch, you get heat, means this pan start giving the heat to our body, to our hand. So this is what? Conduction, means the transferring between two conductors. Okay. Convection means what? The water molecules moving up and down, the warmer molecules moving upward, and the downward and the cooler molecules coming downward and making a layer and making a stream. So this is what? Convection and convection current. See, now radiation means what? That heating object, that heater is giving the heat, and through heat, without the help of any media, without the help of any conductor, the radiation can come to the radiation can pass. So means what? The radiation without help of any medium, any conductors also, here through the object, through the heating object, the radiation can come. And from the far, from the staying away to that gas also, little bit distance from that gas, you can feel the heating warmth of the gas because of the radiation. You are not touching the gas directly to the heat, but then too from the distance also you can feel what? Heat from the gas. So that is what? Radiation. Here this is what? Example of convection current. When you heat the water, see, the bottom molecules will heat first, will warm first. So these bottom molecules will go upward, then from here the cooler molecules will go downward, and in this way this cycle will be going on, and that is what called convection currents. Summary. Here summary point: heat flows from an area of high temperature to an area of low temperature. Always remember, always heat energy flows from high temperature to the low temperature. As we touch the body, when we for example when we touch a heated pen, the heating pen is all having high temperature, and when we are not touching any object, we are of low temperature. So when you touch the high temperature object, start giving the heat to a low temperature, and we also started feeling the hot. So this is what? A high temperature gives heat to the low temperature, means flowing from high to low. There are three modes of transfer of heat. There are three transfer of heat process already we have revised and discussed: conduction, convection and radiation. It is same again. The same. Conduction is the process of heat transfer through a matter without actual movement of molecules. Here actual movement of molecules is not there. Actual movement of molecules in what? It is in the convection. Conduction is also a point to point transfer of heat, means one molecule give heat to the other molecule, then other molecule give to the another molecule, and in this way it is a process of point to point, the process of heat transfer between the two bodies in contact, and the two bodies should be in the contact to transfer the heat. Convection is a process of transfer of heat energy through a fluid. See, in solids, conduction is the heat transfer process, and in the fluid or in liquid, convection is the process for heat transfer. And there is actual movement of the molecules is there, means the molecule actually moves to transfer the heat to the other molecules. Here, sixth, in radiation, the heat transfer takes place without the help of any intervening media. Dark surfaces absorb more radiation, light surfaces absorb less radiation. Always remember, when you are in the dark surface and when as the radiation or light comes, so the dark surface easily absorb more radiation. But you are suppose if you are in already in a sunlight or in any light, and if you put any other light bulb or what, so not much changes will come, not much effect will be there. It means what? Light surfaces absorb less radiation, and dark surfaces absorb more radiation. So for example, one more example also, in summer we used to wear light clothes. Why? Because this light clothes will absorb more radiation of will absorb less radiation of sun, and it will keep us little bit what it will prevent from heat radiation. Okay, but if we wear dark clothes, it will absorb more radiation and it will make us what? Heat. So this is what? That's why the dark surfaces absorb more radiation and light surfaces absorb less radiation. Radiation is emitted by all bodies above absolute zero, means the temperature above zero, radiation can be emitted by all bodies. Now there is a difference between conduction, convection and radiation. It is very important. The difference you must be knowing. You must be knowing what the difference between conduction, convection and radiation. So let's see. Conduction is what takes place between solids or within solid. It means it can take between two solids or within solid, and it's takes place due to the vibration of molecules about their mean position, means there is the for the transfer of heat, the molecules vibrate to transfer, and they remain at their mean position only. The molecules does not actually move, and the two bodies should be in the contact for heat transfer, and heat can be transferred in any direction, means through the conduction process heat can be transferred in any direction. Convection, it is a mode of heat transfer between liquids and gases, means convection can happen in liquids as well as gases. There is an actual movement of the particles of the material, as we have studied right now. What there is an actual movement of the particles in the convection, and heat flows only vertically upwards, and in the convection only heat moves only upwards. Okay, in conduction heat can transfer in any direction. Okay, in upward, downward, inside and anywhere. But in the convection process always remain, there is a formation of convection current, means the warmer molecules always move upwards. Now radiation. All bodies and materials, whether solid, liquids and gases, can transfer heat by this method. See, all bodies, solid, liquid and gas, can transfer the heat by radiation if the temperature is high. Does not need medium for radiation. Medium is not required, means the two bodies should be in contact, not required. The radiation can flow in vacuum. Heat flows in all directions, and through the radiation heat can flow in all the directions. Here we will revise once again convection current. Coastal breeze, sea breeze and land breeze will revise. During daytime, the temperature of the land rises more quickly than sea. See children, during the daytime, what? The land get heated, more heated compared to sea. The hot air above the land becomes lighter and rises. And the hot air above the land, because of gets heated, it becomes lighter and it start moving upwards. Rises means upwards. It is replaced by heavy and comparatively cold air from the sea. A sea breeze from sea to the land results. And when the warm air from land starts moving upwards, then it from after moving upwards, it starts moving towards the sea, and the cold breeze and the cold wind from the sea start moving towards the land. And in this way, it forms a current. Convection current means from land to sea, or from sea to land means in the daytime the cold breeze moves from sea to the land, so this is what called sea breeze. Now opposite in the land breeze. At night just the opposite happens. The sea has more heat to lose. Now at night what will happen? In the daytime all the warmer air have transferred to the what? To the sea. So the air at the sea means it is it is already heated, because in the daytime the air present above the sea gets heated because of the transfer of warmer air from land to the sea. So now the air present on the sea is already warmer. So now here at the land in the night time the land will start cooling more faster than the sea. So here air is present, cold air, and here air is warm air in the night time. So that always warm air move upwards. So from sea this warm air move towards the land, and from land cold air will move towards the sea. So that is why from land to the sea the cold air moves. So that is why it makes the land breeze. Okay, that is also example of that is same picture. During daytime from the land the warmer air moves towards sea and the cold air moves towards the land, and in the night time the cold air from the sea moves towards the land and the warm air moves towards the land and the cold air moves towards sea, and this is called sea breeze and this is called land breeze. Now we will revise chapter 1 nutrition in plants. So before starting summary points and all, we should know what is nutrition and what is a nutrient. So nutrient are what? Nutrient are the essentials for the normal functioning of the human body. Nutrients are those substances and those proteins and all which are very essential for the function of the human body. And nutrients what includes? Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals and water. They all what comes in nutrients, and these are important for all the living body. Then what is nutrition? The process by which the body takes in and uses food. Means the process of taking the nutrient and used by the body is called nutrition. Okay. Now important terms will revise. Autotrophs. Autotrophs are what? The organisms that make their own food. Those organisms which prepare or make their own food are called autotrophs. And for example what? Green plant. Green plant are not depend on any others for their food. They prepare their food by themselves, by their own, and that's why green plants are called autotrophs. Heterotrophs, organisms that cannot prepare their own food, means those organisms which cannot prepare their own food in their own body but depend on other living organisms for their food requirement, and that's why those organisms which depend for food on others called heterotrophs. Photosynthesis means what? The process by which green plants utilize carbon dioxide and water, means in the process in which carbon dioxide and water used by the plants to make their food in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight is called photosynthesis. Now what is chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is a green pigment responsible for the green color of leaves. Why the colors of the leaves is always green? Why? This is because of the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment, a green pigment, a substance which is present in the leaves, and which catches the sunlight, and when the sunlight comes in the chlorophyll, with the help of chlorophyll, it gives the color to the leaves, what? Green. Chloroplasts are what? Chloroplasts are special cells found on leaves, means the cells which are found on leaves, which are present in leaves and stems of plants where photosynthesis takes place. Means this photosynthesis process takes place in the cells of chloroplast. What? Which cells? Chloroplast cells, where what? Chlorophyll is also present. These cells have to, and at this in these cells photosynthesis process occurs. Stomata are what? Stomata are small pores on the undersides of leaf. Means on the under the leaves surface there are small pores, and which these small pores through which exchange of gases takes place. Means the taking of oxygen in and oxygen out. This exchange of gases takes place through the stomata, which are small pores present on the surface of leaves. Parasites. Parasites are those organisms which grow on or inside the body of other organisms. Means those organisms which grow on other organisms or inside the body of other organisms and take derive the nutrition from them. Means they depend for their food and for the nutrition on the living organism, and they take food and shelter from other organisms. That's why they are called parasites. Host are means what? Those organisms that provide food and shelter to parasite. Means host are those organisms which gives shelter and food to the parasite, and parasites lives in under the host or in the host organisms. Partial parasites, organisms that depend on hosts only for some nutrient. Means those organisms which are depend on host only for some nutrient. They are not totally depend on host, but for some nutrient they are depend on host. That's why they are called partial parasites. Partial parasite means what? Only some part of parasites which depend on host. So partial parasites means what? Organisms which depend on host only for some nutrients. Now next is saprophytes. Now saprophytes are those organisms which grow on and derive nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. Means organisms which depend on other organisms, but those organisms from dead and decaying organic matter. Means those organisms which takes the nutrients from dead body of the other organism. So those type of organisms called saprophytes. Insectivorous means the organisms which consume insects. Means the organisms which take the nutrients from other insects. So those organisms are called insectivorous. Insectivorous plants are what? The green plants that are capable of photosynthesis. Means green plants are already capable of preparing their own food through photosynthesis, but derive some or most of the nutrients from insects. But for need of other nutrients that depend on other insects, that's why those green plants are called insectivorous plants. Not all green plants, but some green plants for some nutrient depend on other insects. That's why it is called insectivorous plants. Now symbiosis. Symbiosis means what? The interaction between or the relation between two organisms that live close physically and benefit from each other. Means those two organisms which live closely physically and they have interaction between and relation between the two organisms, and they benefit each other, and which is called symbiosis. Summary. First point, nutrition can be categorized into autotrophic and heterotrophic modes. See, nutrition process, there are two types of nutrition process or two modes. Which one? Autotrophic and heterotrophic. And based on the kind of raw material organisms take from the environment. Means it is depend on the how the organisms the raw material take from the environment in autotrophic process or in heterotrophic. So there are modes of nutrition given. See, autotrophic can be more called as holotrophic also, and second is heterotrophic, and heterotrophic is called as holozoic mode of nutrition also. Organisms can be classified into autotrophs and heterotrophs. See, as we know, Organisms also divided into two categories, autotrophs and heterotrophs, and they depending on whether they can make their own food or not. How these two categories come on, depending on whether they can prepare their own food or not. If can prepare their own food, then can called as autotrophs, and if not able to prepare own food, called heterotrophs. Autotrophs can synthesize their own food, means can prepare own food, whereas heterotrophs cannot depend on depend on other organisms for food. Third point, autotrophic plants prepare food in the form of starch. Means autotrophic plants, autotrophs plants, always they prepare food in the form of starch through the process of photosynthesis. When the photosynthesis process happens, then when the food is prepared, the food is present in the form of starch or glucose. Fourth, photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplasts of green leaves. This photosynthesis process, where it happens in the plant, it is happen in the cells, which cells, chloroplast cells in the green leaves, and requirement of the photosynthesis are what? Sunlight, carbon dioxide. Sunlight it takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and chlorophyll present in green leaves, and the water from the soil. So all these four main important requirements for the photosynthesis. Fifth point, water and minerals are absorbed by the fine root hairs present in the roots of plants. Means what? If the plant need water and minerals, so plant and minerals are absorbed by the roots of the plants, and which are present in the roots of plants. Means root hairs are present in the roots of the plant, and roots hair help to absorb water and mineral and pass to the all parts of the plants. The rate of photosynthesis increases when a plant receives more sunlight. If the plant receives more sunlight, the rate means the more fastly the photosynthesis process happens. There are different kinds of heterotrophic plants depending on the food source they utilize. See, there are different types of heterotrophic plants, and they depend on the which type of food and from what food source they use. Namely, what? Parasites, saprophytes, insectivorous, and symbiotic plant. They are the different heterotrophic plants, and which depends on other organisms for nutrients. Then eighth point, decomposers and symbiotic plants help replenish soil with nutrients. Means once all the nutrients from the soil get used, who again fill the nutrients in the soil, again replenish the soil? Who? Decomposers and symbiotic plants help to get the soil with nutrient. Once we see the photosynthesis process in short, as you know, plants make their own food, and it by which process? Photosynthesis process. This process is a chemical reaction that use light energy. Now photosynthesis is which type of process? It is a chemical reaction process which is use light energy, means sunlight. So in the presence of sunlight, photosynthesis process happens. The word photosynthesis comes from the Greek language. From that, the word photosynthesis has come from Greek language. Photo means, for the word photo, it means sunlight. Okay, and synthesis means putting together or making. So in the presence of sunlight, making the doing this all this process together. So this process, when photo and synthesis word comes together, it makes photosynthesis. Photosynthesis just means putting together with light. All the requirements putting together with light is called what? Photosynthesis. Where do green plants put together to make their food? Now, what do green plants to make put together to make their food? So requirement of photosynthesis are what? The most important: chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, sunlight, and water. So when all these four requirements come together, it makes the process of photosynthesis. Here with this picture also we can clearly understand this: the roots hairs or the roots absorb water and minerals from the soil, then and it absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, sunlight from the sun, and and when the carbon dioxide in the presence of sunlight and in the presence of water, when and in the chlorophyll is present in the cells of chloroplasts. So when they all together comes the food prepared and the food present and the food used by plant in the form of glucose or starch, and carbon dioxide goes in and oxygen goes out through the plant through the small pores which are called stomata. Here reaction of photosynthesis, it is very important children. The reaction also can come in exam. Write the reaction, or it can come to complete the reaction. So carbon dioxide and water reacts together. The carbon dioxide molecules, how many? 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O when combined together, when react together in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll in leaves, it makes glucose and oxygen. Means when both combine together, 6 carbon atom, 12 hydrogen atom and 6 oxygen atom makes glucose, and the left one 6 O2 makes oxygen, and it removes from it goes out from the plants. So this is how we get the oxygen through the photosynthesis process. So that was the chemical reaction of the photosynthesis process. Once let's see how many atoms, how many molecules, and how the balanced equation. Here 6 carbonic atom, 6 is common for carbon and oxygen, 6 oxygen atom, and at the base 2 is there, means 6 to the 12 oxygen atom here. 6 carbon and 12 oxygen atom, 6 to the 12. So 12 hydrogen atom and 6 oxygen atom. When they all combine, so what will happen? Carbon 6 already only, here carbon 6 only, so carbon 6, hydrogen 12, here hydrogen 12 has taken, and oxygen, this oxygen 6 atom combine together and form glucose. And then what is left at the last? This carbon is already used, this 6 O2, means this 12 oxygen atom has left, means 6 O2 has left. So this is how the chemical reaction has balanced from before reaction and after reaction. So this was the reaction of photosynthesis. Okay children, so this was your revision, and please take care, read the full chapter. From the chapter from anywhere the questions can come, and mostly objective type questions will be there. So please remember all the important points and all. Okay, all the best children. Thank you children.